Well, the thing is, you are fortunate, yeah, because the Vedic culture is readily available. Therefore, you are very fortunate. Yeah. For the rest of us who were born outside India, we stumbled across Vedic culture. Text 10.
Tam anukushavarta ilavarto brahmavarto malayah keturbhadrasena indraspruga vidarbah kikata iti navanavati pradhanaha.
Following Bharata, there were 99 other sons. So how many sons he had? 100 sons. Among these were 9 elderly sons named Kusavarta, Ilavarta, Brahmavarta, Malaya, Ketu, Bhadrasena, Indrashprik, Vidarbha and Kikata. So these are 9 sons plus Bharat. They are 10 Kshatriyas. Okay, these are the 10 Kshatriyas. But Bharata is actually the oldest and the most devoted or devotional. Text 11 and 12.
Kavir antarikshaha Prabhuddha Pippalayanah Avir Hotra Atha Drumila Chamasa Karabhajanah Iti Bhagavata Dharma Darshana Nava Mahabhagavatas-tesham Sucharitam Bhagavan Mahimopabhrimhitam Vasudeva Narada Samvadam Upashyamanam Upadrishtad Varna Ishyamaha.
I thought you were trained to chant mantras.
No? Actually, there is
in addition,
South Indian meter actually.
Translation. In addition to these sons, after these 10 sons, these are the next 9 sons. These are very special 9 sons. Kavi, Havi, Antariksha, Prabuddha, Pipalayana, Avirhotra, Drumila, Chamasa and Karabhajana. I'll ask you this question. These are the 9 Navayogendras. These were all very exalted, advanced devotees and authorized preachers of Srimad Bhagavatam. So what does it say? Tell you, they are pure devotees, Vaishnavas. Okay. Only Vaishnavas speak from the Bhagavatam. Yes. These devotees were glorified due to their strong devotion to Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, they were very exalted. To satisfy the mind perfectly, I, Sukadeva Goswami says, shall hereafter describe the characteristic of these 9 devotees when I discuss the conversation between Narada and Vasudeva. Where is that? 11th canto. Text 13.
Yaviyamsa eka sitir jayan te yaha fitur adeshakara mahasalina mahashrotriya yagnashilaha karma vishuddha brahmana babuvuhu.
In addition to these 19 sons mentioned above, there were 81 younger ones, all born of Rishabhadeva and Jayanti. According to the order of their father, they became well cultured, well behaved, very pure in their activities and expert in Vedic knowledge and the performance of Vedic rituals. Thus, they all became perfectly qualified Brahmanas.
So first 10 Kshatriyas and 9 Navayogendras and remaining 81 Brahmana.
High class Brahmana, not ordinary Brahmana. They are also Vaishnavas. But these are, supremely. So you can see the Lord can do this. He can bring forth such living entities. Okay, even though he acted as an ordinary king and so on, but he can bring forth only quality. When we bring 100 children, we'll all create 100 problems, a million problems, like that. We won't have Nava Yogendras. We have nine hells, like that. So we have to be very careful. So you understand based on this Kshatriyas, and then you have Vaishnavas, and then you have Brahmanas now. Right? Brahmana who is very advanced becomes Vaishnava. So it doesn't mean this 81 are not Vaishnava. It's just that they are taking the function to teach people how to do all those qualities and so on. Okay? So Prabhupada then qualifies these Nava Yogendras as Mahabhagavatas. They are already pure devotees like that. Okay? Text 14. One thing, even though they are all born of a king, by birth they are all Kshatriya, so called, but they are not Kshatriyas because it is Guna Karma. Text 14.
भगवान ऋषभ संज्ञ आत्मतंत्र स्वयं नित्य निवृत्तानार्थ परंपरः केवलानंदानुभाव ईश्वर एव विपरीतवत् कर्मण्यारभमानः कालेनानुगतं धर्मम् आचारनेनोपाशिक्षयन् अतद्विदां सम उपशान्तो मैत्रः कारुणिको धर्मार्थ यशः प्रजानामृतवरोधेन गृहेषु लोकं नियमायत्.
Being an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Rishabhadev was fully independent. Right? We already understood that. Because his form was spiritual, eternal and full of transcendental bliss. Who says that? Brahma. What is the verse? Yeah. So, all these things we hear when we come to the movement, but now you can see it's all factual. And so when you speak, you're speaking facts. You're not making something up. So always speak the truth. Then you can meditate. Satyam param dhimahi. He eternally had nothing to do with the four principles of material misery: birth, death, old age and disease. Nor was he materially attached. He was always equipoised, and he saw everyone on the same level. He was unhappy to see others unhappy, and he was the well-wisher of all living entities. Although he was a perfect personality, the Supreme Lord and control of all, he nonetheless acted as if he were an ordinary conditioned soul. Therefore, he strictly followed the principles of Varnashram Dharma and acted accordingly. In due course of time, the principles of Varnashram Dharma had become neglected. So even during his time, no? So this is a cycle, you all have to understand. It will happen over and over again. Therefore, through his personal characteristics and behavior, he taught the ignorant public how to perform duties within the Varnashram Dharma. In this way, he regulated the general populace in householder life, enabling them to develop religion and economic well-being and to attain reputations, sons and daughters, material pleasure, and finally eternal life. So, basically, Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Now, Moksha generally for people is what? Some impersonal, some?
Heavenly, maybe.
No, not necessarily. They just want to be free from the influence of modes of material nature. So that's all around that level, all being impersonal and so on. But he is teaching eternal life. Going back to Godhead, which means here Rishabhadev wasn't talking about just you do all the sacrifice, the modes don't affect you. No, he's talking about going back to Vaikuntha. Yeah, exactly. It's Daivi Varnashram. By his instruction, he showed how people could remain householders. Because personal he showed, which is what I was saying earlier on, how you all have to conduct yourself, when to retire and all those things. Think about how you're going to please Krishna, your spiritual master, the devotees. Like. At the same time, become perfect by following the principles of Varnashram Dharma. More or less, most of you are doing your Varnashram Dharma, but then you need to refine it. More or less. It's already in place, you just have to fit into the pattern. Because you don't know. If you do the rules and regulations, you're already following some pattern. It's not like you have to rubber stamp and say Kshatriya. You know your nature, so follow that properly in accordance with spiritual injunctions like that. So basically, what he's trying to say is one should perform one's dharma or duty. Okay, so we all have our duties to do, and we should do it properly. That's the idea here, and do it in connection with Krishna. Text 15. Yat yat chirshanya charitam tat tat anuvartate lokaha. Okay. Translation. Huh?
Your machine crashed actually.
Your machine crashed. Okay. Whatever action is performed by a great man, common men follow. What is that verse? Yeah. So how do we help others? We must first be trained. Then you can help others, right? Correct or not? That's like Prabhu is doing, Chandra Prabhu is doing farming. Whatever he is learning, he has knowledge now. Whatever, particularly for this Washington place, right? Only you know because you've done it, So next time someone, you can be the guide for them. You say, this is what I went through. So the next person who's going to do will have less problems implementing. And then when he finds out, he will find other things, and so the knowledge just gets more and more refined and perfected. That's what it is. So therefore, we have to do it properly. What are we supposed to do properly?
Our devotional activities.
Our devotional activities properly. Then we can set examples for others. Yeah. No matter what difficulties you go through, you do the good job. Then they'll say, this is the standard. This is what I've read. Now I can see it. Right? Otherwise, how would they know what it means? So for some people, it has to be visual. For some, it has to be physical. For others, they just have to hear once. For most of us, we have to hear and do and fall and do. Then we'll, okay. Okay, so consider these things very carefully in your life, because you are actually representing Krishna to your own family members, children, or to the public. Whatever you say and do is what is going to be reflected, or it may come back to you like a boomerang. Right? So be very cautious about how you are going to help others, in the sense that set good examples. Okay? Because your intention may be good, but it may come out in the wrong way, right? You want to wish someone, but then you throw up. You know what I mean? You are sick, so you want to, hey, I want to wish you, because you are sick, you throw up, and how they feel? They will always think of the bad things, but your intention was good, right? So the person who is receiving it only received all your vomit. How are they going to think the intention was good? So therefore, we have to practice, properly, so that our intention and our actions match. What did Sanatana Goswami say to who? To who?
Haridasta.
Haridasta. And
Some people preach nicely,
Preach nicely.
but
Or
they don't
speak
behave.
nicely.
Speak nicely, but they don't behave.
Don't behave nicely. And some
People behave nicely.
Behave
nicely.
nicely,
Not
but don't speak.
but you
Both.
yeah. So that is our one of our standards. Yeah. We may not reach there because you're talking about Bhagavad Harina stuff. But that is something you have to practice. Because when you practice, the Lord covers for you. Right? He says that, right? Yovikshema. Huh? Yeah, exactly. And he'll reciprocate also. So here, this place is temporary and miserable place. Here Prabhupada hammers, in case you're thinking I'll do everything nicely and I'll be alright. Prabhupada hammers, you are nice. So he says, Dukkha Shashrata, full of misery. No one can stay here, even if he makes a compromise with misery. Which is what essentially everyone is doing, compromising with misery. Do you know the spirit soul can tolerate? So why tolerate the misery? Why don't we tolerate like King Nabi and become jubilant? Both are same things. It's just one wants to enjoy material, the other one is spiritual. Taking austerity is also a kind of misery to tolerate. But tolerate for Krishna, you become happy. Yes. Otherwise you become identifying with the body, deha, breath. 16.
यद्यापि स्वविदितं सकलधर्मं ब्रह्मन् गुह्यं ब्राह्मणैर्दर्शितमार्गेण समाधिभिरुपायैर्जनताम् अनुशाससा.
Although Lord Rishabhadev knew everything about confidential Vedic knowledge, which includes information about all types of occupational duties, he still maintained himself as a Kshatriya and followed the instructions of the Brahmanas as they related to mind control, sense control, tolerance and so forth. Thus he ruled the people according to the system of Varnashram Dharma, which enjoins that the Brahmanas instruct the Kshatriyas and the Kshatriyas administer to the state through the Vaishyas and Shudras. So, remember earlier on he was trying to establish Varnashram, so this is how he was establishing it. First of all, he himself followed by listening to the Brahmanas. So similarly for us, we listen to authorities. Sometimes we may not be tasteful, but we have to follow authorities. Alright, so text 17.
द्रव्यदेशकालवयः श्रद्धार्त्विग् विविधोदेशोपचितैः सर्वैरपि क्रतुभिर् यतोपदेशं सतकृत्व इयाजा.
So this is one of those places where the word Ritvik comes, Lord Rishabhadev performed all kinds of sacrifices 100 times according to the instructions of the Vedic literatures. Thus he satisfied Lord Vishnu in every respect. So generally kings will do this. Ashwamedha sacrifice, all those other sacrifices. All the rituals were enriched by first class ingredients. They were executed in holy places according to the proper time by priests who were all young and faithful. Faithful here refers to mode of goodness, not passion or ignorance. In this way, Lord Vishnu was worshipped and the prasad was offered to all the demigods. Thus the functions and festivals were all successful. So how to teach people? You teach them from young age. So again this what we couldn't understand, Srila Prabhupada is opening up for us to understand. When young and faithful, when you're young, you are able to observe and you are strict in whatever you do, or you do it very well without deviation. They say, old dogs You can't teach old dog new tricks. Because you are conditioned. Very hard to uncondition. But through proper chanting and so on, we are getting unconditioned. But that has to be a factor that we have to practice strictly. Otherwise, younger generation, if they take it up, they can be trained very easily. Kaumaram Achara Prajna. This is said by Prahlad Maharaj. So very important to know. And so therefore, whenever we see young people, we encourage them in their Krishna consciousness. You have to encourage them. Don't show an ugly side that this movement is horrible. This. Then you are ruining their opportunity to become Krishna conscious. Yeah. Rather, by encouraging them, they will also find ways and means to practice. Okay. And here also, the demigods are also given proper respect. Right? One of the offenses when you chant, do not
Mention the names of demigods
to be equal to Vishnu. By the same time, you are not supposed to disrespect them. Okay, text 18.
भगवतार्षभेन परिरक्ष्यमान एतस्मिन् वर्षेण कश्चन पुरुषो वाञ्छति अविद्यमानम् इवात्मनो अन्यस्मात् कथाञ्चन किमपि कर्हिचित् अवेक्षते भर्तर्यनुश्वसानं विजृम्भित स्नेहातिशयम् अन्तरेण.
Sneha, affection. No one likes to possess anything that is like a will-o'-the-wisp. Will-o'-the-wisp means anyhow, like that. Or a flower in the sky, something that is not real. Yeah. For everyone knows very well that such things do not exist. When Lord Rishabhadev ruled this planet of Bharatavarsha, even common men did not want to ask for anything at any time or by any means. What does it indicate to you?
They're satisfied.
Yeah, everyone was fully satisfied. No one ever asks for the will-o'-the-wisp, something that cannot be accomplished, attained. In other words, everyone was completely satisfied, and therefore there was no chance of anyone's asking for anything. The people were absorbed in great affection for the king. Since this affection was always expanding, they were not inclined to ask for anything. Because they were having a relationship with the king, who is this personality of Godhead. What incident can you remember based on that?
Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj in his
Lord
kingdom.
Ram's rule.
Lord Ram's rule? More or less. What else? Krishna pastime?
Krishna returns to Dwarka.
Yeah.
Krishna returns to Dwarka. Everyone is
Govardhan Leela.
All the children he becomes.
The Brahma Vimohana.
Vimohana.
Right? Krishna becomes the children of everyone, and then they all have relationship with Krishna. Yeah. So everyone is fully satisfied. Or they found they have so much affection for their own children, more than they used to. So the affection is always expanding, ever expanding. Right? Why is it ever expanding? Exactly. Lord is always ever expanding. He is always not finite, but infinite. Yeah. So then Prabhupada gives a very funny example. In Bengal, the word Goda Dimba. Goda Dimba is used, which means the egg of a horse. How can a horse lay egg, right? So that's what it is. Since the horse never lays an egg, the word Goda Dimba actually has no meaning. In Sanskrit, there is a word Ka Pushpa, which means the flower in the sky. Sky means ether, or like that. No flower grows in the sky. Therefore, no one is interested in asking for Ka Pushpa or Goda Dimba. So nowadays people ask for all kinds of weird things. They just imagine, I wish I had this, wish I had that. No? Because they think it can be done.
Go to Mars.
Go to Mars and live. They're all going one way to die. I think they will die before they reach there. Something, either the oxygen will go out or whatever.
One-way trip to Mars.
Exactly. One way trip to hell, I think. So therefore, if for us, if we are very affectionate to people, we can make a lot of impact in their life. That's what things you can see. Now, the impact we want to make in their life is spiritual impact. So therefore, when we have a loving relationship, we can give a positive spiritual impact. It should be centered around Krishna, not centered around you. Yeah, not around you. It should be about Krishna, about Prabhupada, about Guru Maharaj, like that, if you are preaching like that. It shouldn't be centered around yourself at all. So they should see, this person is my
well-wisher.
My well-wisher. He wants me to go back to Godhead. Like that. So then Prabhupada gives a very important thing which is very applicable. This is the perfection of government in the middle of that paragraph. He says, the citizens are unhappy due to bad government, the heads of the government are condemned. That means they get some reaction. Whether you like it or not, if you are a head of something, if you are a leader, all this, you will get reaction for doing the wrong thing and the right thing. During these democratic days, monarchy is disliked by the people. But here's an example of how an emperor of the whole world kept all the citizens fully satisfied by supplying the necessities of life and following the Vedic principles. Nowadays, people don't have the necessities. That's why they are very unhappy. Right? Just to go and see a doctor is like a terrible thing, It's like people are scared to go to see a doctor. Previously they were scared because they were just scared. Now scared because they have to pay the bill. They're not so worried about whether the disease is there. So they're totally gone. The reason for even going to doctor is lost now. Right? So before going to doctor, they'll call their friends, see what to do, take pills, buy pharmacy, whatever they can do, they whack, and then finally they surrender to the insurance company first. So that means the government is not able to satisfy the people. That's why you have so many people unhappy. And that's due to, Prabhupada says, bad government. They do not know what people really need. Rather, what are they doing? They are creating artificial needs. Right? Totally artificial. Something you don't even know, will o' the wisp, they create that. And then everyone says, I want that. Right? Mars. Big planet, nobody is there, we can go there and live peacefully. No, it's honestly, these are demonic people trying to get rid of people. And they polish and all so nicely, they write all the papers, all in scientific, everyone's, this is proof, man, I can go there. They all go and nobody will know what happened to them.
Prabhupada says they're demoniac because they promote cow slaughter.
Yeah?
Rather than being sinful, rather than killing them for cow slaughter, they promote.
They promote it, of course they promote all this. They are hoping to do more and more. That's one of the reasons why the climate is like that. The climate problem is because all the major forests are being cut down for cow slaughter. Yeah. They are so powerful that the money they have is more than the GDP of some of these countries. So they tell those countries, you cut this forest to the government, we'll give you so much money. Because they're going to make more money. Such a rascal. Text 19.
सकदाचित् आत्मनो भगवान् ऋषभो ब्रह्मवार्तागतो ब्रह्मर्षि प्रवर सभायां प्रजानां निशमायान्तिनाम् आत्माजम् अवहितात्मनः प्रश्राय प्रणय भार सोयन्त्रितान् अप्युपाश्रिसकायन् इति होवाच.
Once while touring the world, Lord Rishabhadev, the Supreme Lord, reached a place known as Brahmavarta. There was a great conference of learned Brahmanas at that place, and all the king's sons attentively heard the instructions of the Brahmanas there. At that assembly, within the hearing of the citizens, Rishabhadev instructed his sons. Although they were already very well behaved, devoted and qualified, he instructed them so that in the future they could rule the world very perfectly. Thus he spoke as follows. So even as a father and as a king, he was going to instruct his own children. Sometimes parents say, I send my children to school. They should know everything. But it's not like that. Many things the school don't teach. Oh, okay. So, to live peacefully in the world, you need so many people to actually guide us. And the person to guide us must also be qualified. The problem is we do not know what is good and what is bad in society nowadays, right?
I'm going up.
Alright, so let's go to the next chapter. Lord Rishabhadev's teachings to his sons. Next one.
Rishabha uvacha Nayam deha bhajam nriloke
Nayam deha bhajam nriloke
Kashtan kaman arhata vidbhujam ye
Kashtan kaman arhate vidbhujam ye
Tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam
Tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam
Shuddhyed yasmad brahma saukyam tamanantam
Shuddhyed yasmad brahma saukyam tamanantam. Lord Rishabhadev told his sons, my dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat stool. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever. Wonderful, no? Because he is not assuming his sons know two things. He wants to show what a parent should teach the children. Secondly, he also wants his citizens to hear. Right? Similarly, Prithu Maharaj also spoke very eloquently about the goal of life to his own citizens. He said, please don't abandon these things. So similarly here, he is doing it, but indirectly. Sometimes you teach your daughter-in-law by scolding the daughter. I don't know whether they teach the son-in-law by it. Generally they say it's the daughter-in-law.
No, they teach the son by scolding the son-in-law.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. You guys should know. You all are in that position.
But sons
Don't listen to their parents right these days.
at least majority.
So again, some things are mentioned that we touched on earlier, like penance, austerity,
Charity.
and charity. These things must be performed. You have to do it, irregardless of your situation. Even Kolavecha Sridhar was doing it. he only had
Pennies.
2 annas, is it? And of that he gave 1 anna to
Ganga.
Ganga's worship. Too much, when you read his pastime, it's just too much. How can you do that? But he did it, so because he felt he had to please the Lord like that. So he's saying, first of all, he qualifies that the human form of life is very, very rare. And then to become a devotee, it's even rarer. Samahatma Sudurlabha. So what is our position then? Our position is that we just humbly become servants. Yeah, that's all. We have no choice. So one of the things is, if you remember the first canto, then if you look at this, it says you should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification. So what is that verse? Dharmasya yapavartasya nartho arthopa kalpate nartasya hi dharmakantasya kamo lavo hi smrita. Right? So one shouldn't be doing for sense gratification. Nor even if you know that you're doing devotional activities, you shouldn't use it for sense gratification. So these points are very nicely highlighted over and over again by different personalities in the scripture. But it's all in the first canto. It's all summarized there. You don't have to go far to appreciate the same information. And he says it's available for dogs. Here he qualifies this: dogs and hawks that eat stool. That means these dogs are eating stool. That means these dogs couldn't even get proper meal, so they were also eating stool, and they are enjoying that. Pigs, we know, they eat stool because they want to keep everything clean and they think it's okay. Right? So Prabhupada qualifies that. Animals like dogs and hawks enjoy sense gratification by eating stool. So you will find that when the dog they have nothing to eat and they will eat stool also. So then the comparison is, if you're going to work like dogs and hogs, then what's the difference between their enjoyment and your enjoyment? Right? It's like, he's trying to awaken you up. Bang, 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 wake up. Why are you acting like a dog? Why are you acting like a hog like that? Rather, you shouldn't worry about, I need this, I need that, I need this. We all are, in your life, occasionally you have this intense material desire that you must fulfill. Otherwise you cannot sleep for days. Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
No, the shopping spree, Black Friday.
Black Friday.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the point here. We shouldn't get into all these things. Rather, we should. It's a lesson for all of us to think about. Why do we need all these things sometimes? Right? It's across the street here. They're building. From Mataji and Prabhu is saying it's all $1 million houses, and 3-story high. I was thinking, average couple in the US is 1.2 or 2.1 something like that. Family, right? 2.2, 2.1 like that. Not even 3 people. What they want such a big house for? So investment. Who's going to buy? After a while, right? The market is going to shrink somewhere. How can it be unlimited? The old system is based on what? Barter. Barter means what?
Exchange.
I need something, you need something, let's exchange. That's it. That means fulfilled my desire. But the new world is not like that.
The houses don't even look good, bro. They're ugly actually. It's like ugly buildings.
Yeah, that's the nature. People don't care now how it looks externally.
How big it is.
Yeah, how big space and how much I can get. It's a sad thing though. So that's what is happening. Hard work they are doing just to pay for that. Right? So what to do? Two people must work. It's true. Two people must work, right? Because they go and the bank will say, okay, you guys are working for Microsoft, okay, we'll give you 600,000 or 800,000, but the other two you all have to cover it from your pay plus pay this. So your whole life is pay and pay and pay. That's all you know. And then you can't even do anything. You pay for the house, mortgage, you pay for the car, loan, pay for car, insurance, house, property, tax, property, insurance, right? And then what else you have to pay? Children, school, fees,
Everything is paid.
right? You pay. It's really amazing, this is what they did it. They purposely do so to control everyone so that you will not give up working. Do you know that? It's so systematically arranged. And there's very intelligent people behind this screwing you guys. Screwing your life. No, I'm not making it up. It's a fact. You just have to open your eyes and see how they do it. And that's why they came up with the stock market. So that they can keep cheating you over and over. Prices go up, stock market, and they pull, and then they say good luck, and then crash again. They'll pump in money, go up, crash. It's like 16th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Demonic, how to get from you, how to not. So Prabhupada says if you are doing that, it's not a human civilization. What's the goal of human life?
Self-realization.
Yeah, actually the real Prema Pumartha Mahan, that is the real goal, should be the real goal. But otherwise is? Yeah, otherwise it's the four arthas only. But that's not the highest goal of human life. Real goal is to develop love of God. Then if you think about that, then if you're chasing artha, but it's not even connected to Vedic understanding, then what is that? It's really hellish life. So we should be very careful. Which means, as practicing devotees, you can have goals materially, but it has to be tempered. Right? Tempered down. Don't have high kind of, like you need a helipad on top of your roof and stuff like that. Right? Those kind of things, just forget it. I heard one guy in India, a billionaire, bought in the middle of the slum, he built a big 6-7 story, 3 floors of cars, and then top helipad, stuff like that. Huh? Is that right? Yeah.
He doesn't live there anymore.
He doesn't live there anymore.
Vastu is not right.
Vastu.
Vastu is alright.
Sad.
For help.
He spent $1 billion to build that building, and there was poverty all around him.
Yeah.
He's not living there.
Yeah, that's what happens. And if you do that, how can you therefore purify your heart? Which is what Rishabhadev is telling his sons. You need to purify your heart. Why do you need to purify the heart? Why is it essential?
Only we can revive our love to Krishna.
Yeah. How is that happening? You revive love of God if you purify heart. What does it mean, purify the heart?
Tendency of enjoyment.
Tendence to lord it over material nature.
To give it up, to lord up. So this is why when you read the verse Janma Karma Chami, then what does it mean then? What does it mean to you?
The Lord is divine. We have to get His qualities.
No, these qualities.
Understand.
Understand the Lord.
He is the supreme
He
enjoyer.
is the Supreme Lord.
Enjoy.
He is the Supreme Lord. Ekale Krishna.
Notice it.
Right? We studied that in the last
One of the verses.
verse, right? Ekale Ishvara Krishna Are Sabha Britya. All others I serve. So Janma Karma Chami Divyam is for us to understand how he is taking birth because he is Supreme Lord. He's not connected to this world, and therefore there is a glorious thing that is coming. Not to see him as one of us. You know. Then that's where you get your hearts purified. So then Prabhupada writes in the purport, in the middle of the first paragraph, human life means voluntarily practicing suffering for the advancement of spiritual life. There is, of course, suffering in the lives of animals and plants which are suffering due to their past misdeeds. However, human beings should voluntarily accept suffering in the form of austerities and penances in order to attain the divine life. After attaining the divine life, one can enjoy happiness eternally. Very important, because he's promising there's eternal happiness there. That means what? The austerities and penances are short term, temporary or short term. Yeah. So we should voluntarily, not like only Kartik I will not eat sweet. That is for who what? To lose weight. Not for Krishna at all. Isn't it? Reality, no? You have to think carefully, when you say, Lord, I want to do this so I can lose weight. You can't do those kind of things, you can't do those things. Then you make Krishna as your business partner. No, you should say, I'm going to do this austerity so I can learn to love you. It's like when you chant, you're chanting so you can get the taste, So therefore when we do like Kartik Mass vows or anything, even during Ekadasi, we want to do it so that the intensity that in which we partake of that austerity should actually reveal our affection for Krishna. That's the intention behind those things. That I want to do it for you, Lord. Not for me, not for this person or that. I want to do it for you because you are my eternally well-wisher. You're so wonderful. You've come millions of times. In the first canto again, why does the Lord take birth? It was one of these questions, right? Why does he come? What was the answer?
To revive the principles of devotional service.
To take us back by taking avatars. 6 questions, one of them. That's the reason. That's why he's coming and comes so many times. So therefore, this is the reason why you need to understand what Janma Karma Chame means. He's coming for us, not for anything else. And therefore, what is the big deal? Doing some austerities for him. So therefore when you do an austerity, I'm doing it for Krishna. I'm doing it for Srimati Radharani. Ring, ring, yes, Prabhu, nobody is on the altar. Come now. No, I just came back from work. I got headache and my wife, this, that, then. That means you are not wanting to take the austerity for Krishna. He tests us like that to see. We may think, I'm doing so nice, I've done this, austerity, that, austerity. Then Krishna gives you nice austerity. Then that's a test to see, are we going to cross that hurdle, this one, before we can go to the next austerity. Anyway, you're going to suffer anyway. You understand? Exactly. Exactly. Therefore, Kunti's prayer.
Let suffering come again.
Yeah. Now you appreciate what she means? Because she is experiencing ecstasy. Yeah. Of course we can't pray like that, but you can appreciate why she's saying that. We are already suffering. Let it be for Krishna then, So always from now on, part of this study of Bhagavatam is for you to also, when you go through some difficulties, ask who's with you, who's always with you.
Krishna.
Yeah. Therefore, he is experiencing he knows your pain. So how can you feel that he's not understanding your pain? So then you should say, Krishna, there must be a reason why I am going through this, so thank you. You have to start learning to say thank you, because there's a lesson, and please kindly show me what I'm supposed to learn now. So then you change, you become a better person, actually. The next time you see someone suffer, you can actually go and help them. Then you can see they are materialistic or at a spiritual level. Then accordingly you can, raise their consciousness. But not gonna, no, Krishna is giving you this, it's good for you, finish. The bugger can commit suicide or whatever. Right? So you have to first grow, then before you can help others. So if we don't do this, then we become fools. And if you are fools, you can't guide people. So the Prabhupada says in the next paragraph, a foolish civilization neglects to teach people how to rise to the platform of Bhakti Yoga. Which means, unless you practice it, how are you going to bring someone to that level? Correct or not? Unless you know how to make sandwich, how are you going to show people how to make sandwich? Oh, I read, sir, let me show you. It won't work. Or rasgulla must be squeaky when you eat it. If you don't make it squeaky when you eat it, that means you don't know how to do it. The same thing, how to bring the Bhakti platform. So if you don't practice Krishna conscious seriously, then Prabhupada says you are no better than a hog or dog. People are foolish out there, I'm telling you. A long time ago when we were first taking up Krishna consciousness, this man was saying, there's no difference between dog and God. Then we were saying, what are you talking about? You're a crazy guy. He said, dog is spelled D-O-G, God is G-O-D. That was his realization. So we already knew he's a dog. These are people who are, big managers and CEO level kind of people who talk like that. Because they are no better than hog and dog. So therefore they cannot see beyond their vision, They see everyone as hog and dogs. So they see the Supreme Lord as hog and dog. So when he comes as Varaha, they say, there you go. But if you read about Varaha, it's totally different. People who are in ecstasy saying that. You don't get ecstasy when you see a pig or wild boar or in Vrindavan, do you get? No, you can't. You feel pity for them actually. The way they run around squealing and screaming. So Prabhupada continues, Rishabhadev's instruction is important, and he says people are being educated and trained to work very hard for sense gratification, and there is no sublime aim in life. A man travels to earn his livelihood, leaving home early in the morning, catching a local train and being packed in a compartment. He has to stand for an hour or two in order to reach his place of business. Then again he takes a bus to get to the office. At the office he works hard from 9 to 5. Then he takes 2 or 3 hours to return home. After eating, he has sex and goes to sleep. For all this hardship, his only happiness is a little sex. Very heavy. Can you relate to that? I can relate to that. When I was working, that's exactly what I was doing. Running, trying to catch a bus. I remember, I hated it. Because the bus will all be packed. And the first 3 buses won't stop. And then the one will stop will only have 1 or 2 standing room. So you squeeze in. And then you stand for 1.5 hours to workplace. Then when you get to the end, your whole shirt all wet. Then you go into an AC room to cool off. And then in the workplace, the AC is either so hot or so cold. So every few weeks, people get sick. That is how I used to work, and I hated it. I hated going to office because you have to get a bus. And I would dream, if I had a car, it would be good. Then the car was very expensive also. So everything gone. So no happiness actually. Alright, so anyway, that's text 1. We'll continue text 2 from tomorrow. Yeah.